Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Things are falling apart for Ruto. Everything he says or promises to do ends up failing very badly, exposing him as a perennial liar. Sometimes back last year, William Ruto in broad daylight promised that never again will African leaders, himself included, allow themselves to be summoned by a foreign leader. That was William Ruto speaking sometimes back. As I talk, William Ruto is among over 40 African leaders who have been summoned in South Korea. Let's remind ourselves of what Ruto said last year before we listen to this question being posed to him by the BBC journalist. Listen to Ruto. That was Ruto speaking in broad daylight, saying very strongly that as Kenya's president, and is mentioning the name Kenya, which I think, in my honest opinion, is bringing serious shame to this country. He was promising that never again will they be summoned by one foreign leader. Ruto is now in South Korea. Yes, he's now in South Korea. And he was asked that question that he refused to answer.
Is that we are going to have every year an Africa Economic and Investment Summit, where we will be inviting countries like Korea, the United States, Germany, EU, and other countries to come and attend those meetings, the summits. Instead of us traveling around the globe, it is easier for us to come and profile our investments.
You've made statements beyond Kenya that has caught the attention, for example, of Africans. For example, the statement you made on the summit and why that needs to be engaged differently. And when you announced that you are going to this summit that you are at right now, some Africans asked, I thought he said he wouldn't go there before. And they questioned whether they should believe the President Ruto...
I have answered that question 5 times. Please find another question.
I ask you because you make strong policy pronouncements, and some would ask...
Unless you have a particular answer you want, which unfortunately I can't give you. I have answered that question 5 times.
The question is, can President Ruto's policy pronouncements year on year be trusted?
Absolutely. That is why Kenya today has earned the respect of not just the people in our continent, but globally as well.
Let's put all that into perspective. Let's start by William Ruto's first remarks that as African leaders, they will never allow themselves to be summoned by one foreign leader. Ruto made those remarks in broad daylight in front of his fellow African leaders and to the whole world. How are these African leaders now seeing Ruto? What about the world? I think they are seeing him as a very excited leader, somebody who does not know what he's saying. They see him as just somebody excited that is now the president, so he just wants attention. And besides that, I'm seeing these African leaders and even the world will no longer take him seriously. They are seeing him as just a perennial liar. I don't think they'll take him seriously going forward. I've always maintained that Ruto's main undoing is his tongue. He speaks too much. A leader in the stature of a president You should be talking a lot. Talk only when it's necessary. But it appears Ruto just talks without looking at the bigger picture. And even back home in Kenya, he made so many promises when he was campaigning for the presidency. Promises he is yet to fulfill. And even as the president, he has gone ahead to make more promises, which again is not fulfilling. So it's true, we are dealing with a perennial liar. One big promise that Kenyans still remember was a promise Ruto made last year that beginning June, mtungi ya gas pamoja na gas was to retail between 350 and 500 Kenya shillings. June came and passed. That promise was never fulfilled. And there are also so many other promises he has made as the president which have never been fulfilled. And if you look at Ruto supporters, a majority voted for him thinking that he was going to fulfill the promises he was making. As I talk, those individuals who voted for Ruto thinking he was going to fulfill those promises are crying out for help, cursing the day they woke up early in the morning to vote for Ruto. The other side of the political divide in Kenya, the opposition now, they were not very much optimistic of Ruto's presidency because they had studied him and they knew he was a person who could not be relied upon. So from Ruto's first sentiments, that never again will they allow themselves as African leaders to be summoned by one foreign leader, that has exposed the lie in Ruto. And now, it's not only Kenyans now seeing him as a liar, but even now the world is seeing him as a liar. So Ruto is really bringing us serious shame as Kenyans. And to the question he's now avoiding, Ruto feels embarrassed. He don't have an answer to that question. That's why he's trying to avoid it by saying he has answered that question 5 times. That's a very big lie. If he had answered that question, then most definitely the journalist could have not asked him that question. So it's clear he has lied, and is even lying in that interview. I honestly believe that Ruto is not fit holding that office as Kenya's president. His integrity is questioned. I doubt whether he passes the test on leadership and integrity. He's not fit holding that office. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Those watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.